Hey there, are you looking for a game you can play with one hand? And no, I don't mean that kind of game. You see, several months ago, I fell and broke my wrist. Needed a metal plate, it was so bad. And I played this game again because it was an easy game I could play with one hand. The game appealed to me because it's a fun point and click adventure that is easily played, even if you only had one working hand. And it's still fun. Hi there, my name's Tommy the Game Master. Let's check out the secret of Monkey Island. There are many interesting things to discuss, including this game's story and the way it revolves around the gameplay. Well, it's probably not the most recognizable series on most people's radar. It is fair to assume this game heavily influences the Pirates of the Caribbean film series from Disney. The ghost pirate LeChuck kind of resembles Davy Jones, and Will Turner's son from the last Pirate of the Caribbean movie does bear a striking resemblance to Guybrush. Then there are a lot of pirate jokes and silly humor that define both series, but let's talk about the story in this one. Story in this game can be divided into 2 chapters, with a bridge between them involving a few short puzzles aboard a pirate ship. The first stage introduces us to Guybrush Threepwood, a wannabe pirate trying to get into the pirate business. After the pirate elders of Malay Island task him with 3 quests to get into said pirate business: find some treasure, defeat a sword master, and dig out treasure. Along the way, he discovers sword fighting is just a battle of insults, the treasure is a tourist trap, and falls in love with the governor when he tries to steal a treasure from her mansion. However, after he completes those 3 missions, Governor Marley gets kidnapped. Guybrush recruits 3 people he met on his adventure on the island to help him sail to Monkey Island to rescue Governor Marley. The second part is the Monkey Island chapter. In comparison, the first chapter is about talking to people, solving puzzles, and fetching quests. The Monkey Island chapter is more environmental puzzles, as you only deal with 2 people, Herman Toothrod and the Monkey Island's health-conscious cannibals. What's really impressive about this game is its sense of humor and writing. It's often funnier to fail at a puzzle or not get it than getting it right away. For example, to buy a shovel and a sword, you must earn money by performing a cannonball act. However, you can attempt to steal the items from the shop, but you'll get busted every single time. Period. Now, you think there would only be 1 or 2 conversations about you trying to steal a shovel from the shop? But that's where you're wrong. There's about 5 to 6 different conversations with the shopkeeper about Guybrush trying to steal a shovel, and they're all hilarious. Later in the game, busting out of the cannibals' hideout and not returning with a particular item to give them will keep having Guybrush getting locked up. What is funny is that each time you do it, they'll try to increase the security of the cell, eventually putting you in a bank vault. This is hilarious. In fact, I haven't laughed this hard at a video game since playing Neptunia Rebirth 3, but this game has humor along with great gameplay and without any underage fan service cringe. The gameplay is point-and-click adventure. It's basically talk to people to get information, use items in either fetch quest fashion, or use them to solve problems to progress the story. And it also has a wicked sense of humor. As I stated before, sword fights are more insults battles, but it's my favorite part of the game to hone your wit by participating in these goofy battles. It's well worth the time to learn them all, because they're all funny. But other jokes like stealing grog from the chef and using it to bust a guy out of the jail, or poisoning the governor's attack poodles are all really funny. The puzzles are challenging, but they're not impossible, and Guybrush can't ever die, except for one really easy puzzle, and you have to take over 10 minutes trying to solve it. In fact, the game parodies point-and-click adventures where you can die easily from making simple mistakes at one point. And if you play the remake, a tip will pop up if you press the H button, so you will always have help without pointing to an online guide. If you don't cheat and use the guide, the game can take about 10 to 15 hours to complete. With the help of a guide, you can probably clear this in under 2 hours, and the Xbox version had an achievement for under 3 hours and without using the help button any. The game lets you switch between the remake and the original DOS version. Since I had an Apple IIe as a kid and never owned an actual DOS computer, which I considered a good thing because I don't really get along with command line interfaces, I don't have too much attachment to the original look. The remake itself is really colorful and has some great animation and good backgrounds that really do fit the story and the goofy humor here. I love the look of Guybrush's new design. He looks like a young kid trying to play pirate. They look like an Xbox Live Arcade game because this was where it was first released, was on the Xbox Live Arcade, but I think it has held up for being over a decade old, and if you're new to this type of gameplay, you really are better off sticking to the remake looks. The remake has some really great voice acting. Dominique Armato, who played Guybrush in more modern outings, came back to redo the voice of Guybrush in this remake of the original.
Cannibals. I don't mind you worshipping in front of the sacred monkey idol which doubles as my home and secret base of operations. But could you please refrain from leaving messy sacrifices on my porch?
His delivery is incredible, but on top of that we get actors like Rob Paulsen, Jess Arnell, and Cam Clark along the line. So think about it this way, you got half the Ninja Turtles or 2/3 of the Animaniacs, and they all do great on their line delivery. The voice acting really elevates the humor. It's unfortunate in this game that you can't have the modern day voice acting and play with the retro graphics. For those who kind of want best of both worlds, they do allow you to do that in the sequel.
It's days like this that make you glad to be dead.
Oh, yes, sir. Glad to be dead.
We are glad to be dead, right?
Oh, yes, sir. I feel so lucky that you happened to capture my ship, then murdered me and everyone on board.
The Secret of Monkey Island on Steam will cost you $10, which is a reasonable price, but I got it for about $2.62, which is an absolute steal for this kind of game. As far as length, the game will take about 10 to 15 hours the first time through if you don't use a guide or ask for help too often. Afterwards, it can be completed in about an hour or two once you know what you're doing. It's fun and funny and well worth checking out. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to help my channel and check out more games.
I'm not gonna take your insolence sitting down.
Oh, your hemorrhoids are flaring up again, eh? People fall at my feet when they see me coming.
Even before they smell your breath?